After consecutive glitches, the private owner of the MRT tells government they can take care of the trains. A surprising announcement, controversial entertainer turned government official M0CHA Uson is running in 2019, and so is presidential spokesperson Harry Roque. A foiled attack, police arrest what they say are terrorists who plan to wreak havoc during the ASEAN summit. And the Metro Manila Film Festival reveals the last 4 films in its lineup. Severed ties with the maintenance provider, a commuter's arm cut and detached trains. The MRT3 is in the headlines once again. Now its private owner, the Metro Rail Transit Corporation, is asking the government to turn over to them the maintenance of the train system, and they say they'll fix it in 6 months. Let's bring in our Joyce Ilas live from the M0CHA Boulevard Station. Joyce, what is the situation like there? And tell us, what does the MRTC plan to do to solve MRT's problems?
Pia, as of now, the lines of commuters here at M0CHA Boulevard Station are starting to get along already. We also noticed that most trains that stop here at M0CHA Boulevard are already very packed. Now, we were able to talk to some security guards, and they said that the lines here are actually at their worst whenever the MRT would suffer from technical glitches. Fortunately, the Department of Transportation said or reported that today the MRT only suffered from one technical glitch. But due to the frequent technical glitches the MRT3 suffered from in the past few days, the MRTC, the private owner of the MRT3, is asking the government to turn over to them the maintenance of the MRT3. This week, the MRT was bogged down by one technical glitch after the other. The worst happened on Thursday when a coach disengaged from the other coaches on its way to Ayala Station. The MRTC, the private owner of the MRT3, believes the problems are an offshoot of poor system maintenance. To address the problem, the MRTC wrote a letter to Transportation Secretary Arthur Tugade on October 20, asking the government to let them maintain the MRT3 and fix the problems.
We have the capability to fix the system. We're very confident that we can fix it.
MRTC President Frederick Paraino says the MRTC is planning to bring in Sumitomo Corporation to act as maintenance provider. Sumitomo is the same entity that designed, built, and originally maintained the MRT3 system for 12 years. Paraino says based on their initial talks with Sumitomo, the Japanese company is willing to buy 50 million pesos worth of spare parts and bring in 100 engineers to inspect and fix the MRT3 system as soon as possible. Paraino is confident Sumitomo can address the MRT problems in 6 months.
When we were doing the technical maintenance with Sumitomo as our maintenance provider, wala naman kayong nakikitang problema. Nakakapagsakay kami ng what was expected of us.
Paraino says the DOTR has yet to respond to their letter. MRT3's most recent maintenance provider, Busan Universal Rail Incorporated or BURI, however, claims that the MRT3 has been suffering from numerous glitches even during the time of Sumitomo. Based on records they acquired from MRT3, when Sumitomo was maintaining the MRT3 from 2007 until 2011, the train system unloaded passengers due to technical glitches 300 to 500 times every year. In 2016, under BURI's maintenance, the MRT3 unloaded passengers due to technical glitches 544 times. BURI argues the glitches happen because the MRT3's design is flawed.
So sinabi namin na because of the excessive vibrations, masisira yung buong sistema, the trains, the rolling stock, tapos madaling maghiwalay yung coupler. Na-discover din namin nung design flaws investigation na the trains are actually trams. Hindi siya talaga dapat kakabit-kabit.
Meanwhile, in an interview with CNN Philippines, the Transportation Department said they are considering the Metro Pacific Group's offer to take over the MRT.
In their timeline, within 7 months, they'll take over the maintenance and operations and start the rehabilitations of the entire system.
despite the frequent technical glitches, especially the decoupling or the disengaging of coaches, which happened yesterday. Transportation Undersecretary Cesar Chavez assures the public that it is still safe to ride the MRT. In fact, Chavez claims that the MRT operations have improved because there are less unloading incidences now after the government took over its maintenance in the last few days. Pia.
Joyce, Senator Grace Poe earlier saying that the DOTR should consider stopping MRT operations. What does the DOTR and the MRTC say about that?
The DOTR said that they are seriously considering this position of Senator Grace Poe. But they also said that they cannot just simply stop MRT operations and just leave 500,000 passengers daily without a viable transport option. Now, for the MRTC, again, the private owner of the MRT, they said that they cannot do anything, or it is the right of the government if they feel that they need to shut down MRT operations because it is no longer safe. But again, they reiterate their call to the government to allow them to take over the maintenance operations of the MRT because they believe they can fix the problems. Pia.
Joyce Idas reporting live from the MRT Shaw Boulevard station. Senator Grace Poe wants to summon former transportation officials to discuss the worsening state of the MRT line. Hearings of Post Committee on Public Services uncovered the problems hounding the MRT early on, but now she wants the Blue Ribbon Committee to step in. She says the committee headed by Senator Richard Gordon can further probe former high-ranking officials on the issue.
Pagdating sa January, kailangan talaga ipatawag na yung mga dating naupo dyan sa DOTC at kasama na rin yung mga sa DOTR at hindi lamang committee ko sa public services, kung hindi pati na rin ang Blue Ribbon Committee mag-imbestiga dito kasama ni Senator Gordon dahil hindi lamang ito kasalanan na mga technical na bagay, kasama dito ang pagpapatakbo ng isang ahensya.
The senator also said transport officials should be upfront about stopping MRT operations to make sure the trains are safe. Remember when traffic enforcers used to be strict about bus and motorcycle lanes on EDSA? Well, those days are back. Our CNR Arcangel finds out what awaits violators.
Beginning Monday, November 20th, private vehicles can no longer use yellow lanes on EDSA. These lanes will be reserved for public utility vehicles such as buses and UV Express. Private vehicles are allowed on the yellow lane only if they are turning on a side street, and they can only enter the lane 100 meters before the turn. MMDA Assistant General Manager Jojo Garcia says the yellow lanes for PUVs are not new, and they will strictly enforce the rule this time to better manage traffic.
Kung nabibilis itong yellow lane natin, baka sakali ang private na tao mag-bus, mabawasan ang sasakyan. Kung may disiplina tayo, may sarili tayong lane, siguro mas maayos.
Yellow lane violators will pay a 500 peso fine, and PUV drivers who veer outside their lanes will pay a fine of 1,000 pesos. Aside from the yellow lane rule, the MMDA will also enforce discipline on motorcycle riders. Beginning Wednesday, November 22nd, traffic enforcers will apprehend motorcycle riders outside their designated blue lane on EDSA. Ahead of this rule, the MMDA flagged down some riders for using other lanes and committing other violations. Instead of traffic citation tickets, they got reminders from traffic enforcers.
Akala ko hot pista po yan, sir. Hindi pa kanina, nakaganyan yung helmet ninyo. Hindi yung ganyan ang pagsusuot, di ba?
Riders welcome the strict enforcement of the motorcycle lane.
Para sa akin tama lang po kasi para sa safety lang po ng mga nagmomotorista yan.
Mas maganda nga po yun para po may iwasan po yung mga aksidente.
Officials are hoping these schemes will help better manage traffic and accidents will be less on the country's busiest road. CN Arcangel, CNN Philippines.
More local news later, but first, here are the top stories from around the world. Zimbabwe Defense Forces say they are, quote, currently engaging with President Robert Mugabe 2 days after the military took over the country's government. Pro-Mugabe newspaper, The Herald, released a photograph of the longtime president meeting with the commander of the Defense Forces. Also present in the talks were 2 South African envoys and a priest reportedly brokering the negotiations for a transitional government. It is unclear what happened during the meeting. Mr. Mugabe has yet to make a public statement. A pro-ISIS group reveals an online poster threatening to attack the Vatican this Christmas. The poster shows a person driving toward St. Peter's Basilica in the Vatican, a gun on the passenger's side, and a message saying, quote, "Christmas blood, so wait." During any given day over the holidays, there could be tens of thousands flocking to St. Peter's Square. Despite the threat, the Vatican tells CNN the Pope's schedule will not change. And U.S. President Donald Trump calls China's decision to send an envoy to North Korea a big move for Beijing. In a tweet late Thursday, Mr. Trump appeared to suggest it could lead to developments in the nuclear standoff on the Korean peninsula. Chinese state news agency Xinhua reported Wednesday that Song Tao, head of the International Liaison Department of the Central Committee of the Chinese Communist Party, is arriving in North Korea today. It is the first time a senior official has made a public visit to North Korea this year. Authorities reveal they foiled a terror attack that would have, quote, embarrassed the country when world leaders were here for the ASEAN summit earlier this week. The police presented to the media who they believe are Abu Sayyaf members who were supposed to carry out the attack. Abdul Ghaffar Jikiri, Alim Sabtalin, and Saddam Jafar were arrested on November 10, first day of the ASEAN meetings. Officials say the suspects were planning to attack the conference of world leaders. Intelligence operatives from the Quezon City Police and the National Bureau of Investigation raided Jikiri's home in Culiat in Quezon City. They recovered firearms and ammunition. Authorities would not yet say the suspect's specific link to the terrorist network. They're looking into the men's Facebook posts, with one of them, a photograph showing one of them holding a firearm while making the hand sign associated with the Islamic State. Another series of pictures show improvised explosive devices.
Ito yung mga part ng mga indicators, pero meron pang mga intelligence information tayo nakuha even before. Kaya nga na-confirm natin, Abu Sayyaf member sila, and then meron silang plano.
PNP Chief Ronald De La Rosa explains why news of the arrests was withheld until the ASEAN summits were over.
Mahirap na. Maaga tayo mag-reveal na information that would lead to the failure of follow-up operations. So yun, kaya namin hinold. And we don't want to give unnecessary anxiety sa public.
Terrorism hit the country most in Southeast Asia in 2016. A global terrorism index report published by the Australia-based think tank, the Institute for Economics and Peace, shows the Philippines ranked 12th among 163 countries. On a regional scale, this is the highest in Southeast Asia. This is the same rank for the country in 2015. The study shows fewer terrorism-related deaths worldwide. More than 25,006 people were killed in 2016. The numbers have declined since reaching a record high in 2014. Iraq, Afghanistan, Nigeria, Syria, and Pakistan accounted for 3/4 of all deaths from terrorism. Yemen, Somalia, India, Turkey, and Libya rounded up the top 10. The study analyzes the impact of terrorism, covering almost all of the world's population. A tropical depression is about to make landfall over Palawan while maintaining its strength. Pag-asa says Tino is bringing moderate to heavy rains and gusty winds. It's moving northwest at 28 kilometers per hour. Signal number 1 is up over the province. Residents there are advised to be on alert against flash floods and landslides. Tino will also bring cloudy skies with scattered rains and thunderstorms to the rest of Mimaropa. That means Occidental and Oriental Mindoro, Marinduque, and Romblon, as well as the Bicol region and the entire Visayas. We'll see an improvement in the weather when Tino exits the country tomorrow morning. Up north, the northeast monsoon prevailing over the regions of Ilocos, Cordillera, and Cagayan Valley, bringing cooler temperatures and isolated light rains. There will be fair weather in the rest of the country, just partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated rain showers because of localized thunderstorms. Police arrest a group of men who arrived in barangay in Palawan wearing army uniforms and carrying high-powered firearms. And in Negros Occidental, authorities are getting ready amid Canlaon volcano's continued activity. Our Mai Rodriguez gives us a wrap of the stories from the regions.
Police arrest 12 men who arrived carrying high-powered firearms and wearing army uniforms in Barangay de Carabao in Culion, Palawan. Based on initial investigation, the suspects were from San Jose Occidental, Mindoro. Charges are being prepared against them. In Negros Occidental, authorities are getting ready for Canlaon volcano's continued activity. Local officials inspected areas near the 4-kilometer permanent danger zone and discussed evacuation plans with residents and are beefing up supplies of emergency kits and food packs. Mount Canlaon remains on alert level 2 or moderate level of unrest since Wednesday. In Bukidnon, the commander of the Army's 403rd Infantry Brigade, Brigadier General Eric Vinoya, says 4 rebels surrendered to the government and disclosed hardships and failed promises they experienced with the New People's Army. He now calls on other NPA members to surrender. Rebel surrenderees receive cash and livelihood assistance to help them transition to mainstream society. In the municipality of Jimenez in Misamis Occidental, authorities arrest a high-ranking NPA official. Antonio Anding, or Commander Bricks, was a former secretary of the NPA unit in Western Mindanao. He's facing multiple cases, including rebellion, murder, and robbery. Mai Rodriguez, CNN Philippines.
Time now for the latest in sports with Miko Halili. Miko, hoop fans in the UAAP amped up?
Yes, they are, Pia. And I'll tell you why. Because the UAP Final Four begins tomorrow at the Big Dome. The Lasal Green Archers will face the Adamson Soaring Falcons on Saturday at 4 in the afternoon. The Archers will have the twice-a-beat advantage. Adamson, on the other hand, wants to force a do-or-die game. The FEU Tamaraws are also hoping for an upset. The Tamaraws will face the Ateneo Blue Eagles on Sunday. FEU is hoping to hand Ateneo their second loss of the season. The Blue Eagles are hoping to bounce back and head to the finals with a victory. And the Celtics continue their winning run in the NBA. They beat the Warriors at home 92-88. The Celtics erased the Warriors' 17-point lead. To get the victory, Jaylen Brown led Boston with 22 points. The Celtics have now won 14 straight games.
House Speaker Pantaleon Bebot Alvarez reveals a part of what he claims is the senatorial slate for the administration party in the midterm elections next year. Alvarez made the disclosure at the mass oath-taking of the PDP Laban's new members in Cebu. Now, on that slate, Communications Assistant Secretary M0CHA Uson. Before becoming a government official, Uson was the lead performer of the group M0CHA Girls. Another one on the list is former Kabayan Party List representative and now presidential spokesman Harry Roque, and also the first transgender congresswoman Geraldine Roman. In a statement, Roque says he does not have 500 million pesos to run, but he confirmed that he took his oath as a party member today. Uson is also commenting. She says this was not discussed, but she's flattered by the nomination. Roman has yet to react. But Senate President Coc Pimentel says that the names are Speaker Alvarez's nominees and that the party will decide yet on their slate in due time. Events related to recent glitches on the MRT are still generating a lot of buzz online. Our Mai Rodriguez has more details in tonight's Connect.
A woman got her right arm reattached on Wednesday thanks to medical intern Dr. Charlie Handik. Dr. Handik is now getting a lot of praise from netizens. The ultimate compliment, a lawmaker is pushing for an emergency medical services bill filed in Congress to be named after her. This Twitter user calls the potential recognition as well-deserved. Another supporter tells Handik, quote, "Kahit sinabi mong ginawa mo lang ang trabaho mo, iba pa rin yung first aid na ginawa mo." But for this one, if the bill will be named after Handik, the physician must be consulted first. Still on the MRT, have you seen this photo of the abandoned MRT coach taken by passenger Ivan Villegas that's making the rounds online? One Facebook page called SENAD0R did some editing on the photo with hilarious results. And they're a hit on social media. In this one, the passengers left behind looked like they were waiting for a band of zombies running towards them. Some photos show the MRT coach under the sea facing a shark. And this batch of photos took the passengers out of this world. Join the conversation by visiting our website at cnnphilippines.com and follow us on social media at CNN Philippines. We love to hear from you. I'm Mai Rodriguez.
The titles of the 8 official entries to this year's Metro Manila Film Festival are now complete. That's because the last 4 movies joining the festival have been announced. Included in the list of entries is the comedy Deadma Walking, starring actors Joros Gamboa and Edgar Allan Guzman. Siargao of director Paul Soriano also made the cut. The surfing drama stars Eric Gonzalez, Jericho Rosales, and Jasmine Curtis Smith. The horror flick Haunted House or Haunted Forest is also in the lineup. Newcomers Jane Oineza, Jameson Blake, Maris Racal, and John Lucas will headline the film. Filipino musical turned movie Ang Larawan is likewise joining the festival. Its big stars include Rachel Alejandro, Paolo Avellino, and Joanna Ampil. In June, some of the so-called mainstream films had already been announced as part of this year's lineup. That includes movies of box office heavyweights Coco Martin, Vice Ganda, and Vic Soto, among others. The Metro Manila Film Festival will kick off December 23rd. For more details on the story, you can visit cnnphilippines.com. Fans get another look into the wizarding world in the sequel of Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Here's your first look at the cast of the upcoming film. We see some familiar faces, including Johnny Depp's character Gellert Grindelwald, as well as Ezra Miller playing Credence Barebone. Producers also revealed the title of the sequel, Fantastic Beasts, The Crimes of Grindelwald. At the end of the first film, Grindelwald was arrested by U.S. Wizard Police for several crimes. We learn more about this in the next movie coming out a year from now.